Borg pissed off Klingon. Klingon broke Borg's nose.
Ah. Ah, yes, that quote.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
That's it. We have the entire crew. Excelente.
How you doing, Connie?
I'm mostly alright, recovering from an elbow and knee sprain.
Ooh.
Who did that to you?
The dog.
Oh my god.
He ran into me and yeah.
Wow. So that was an enthusiastic greeting if ever I heard one. Mummy! Bam!
It was painful. I don't think I'll never let it happen again, basically.
What you need are shin guards and maybe a bodyguard.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I need.
Hawky spooky doos. Well, so far so good. I mean, Connie's coming through loud and clear, so hopefully that means that Mr. Powell will be coming through loud and clear as well. Everyone else is almost... Well, not everybody else is in yet, so let's give folks a bit of a chance to log in first. So far so good on the ones who are in, though. Oh, we just dropped somebody. That was the Christopher.
Sorry, what, me or?
No, the other one.
Okay.
I do have to find some way of adequately differentiating the two of you, don't I? Mr. Powell and Mr. Bells just sound so formal. But then again, we are playing Star Trek, so it kind of makes sense. Mr. Bell, phasers set to fantastic. Mr. P. Mr. Powell, I require us looking fabulous for the Admiral's inspection. Evans knows this guy looks good in an Admiral's uniform. Okay. It's falling about as flat as my own self-congratulations. So, let's just make sure. We've still only got Mr. Bell, Liz, and Mark signed into Foundry. So, hopefully we can get the others logged on soon. So we're missing Connie logged in, we're missing Chris logged in.
I think Connie's internet is fine.
And you're
I guess you guys can't.
Alright. Until just then.
Yeah, my internet is tragic at the moment. Sign in. Yeah.
Which is weird because you both should be on the same line, as it were.
Come on, behave. Yeah, I don't know if there's something wrong like with my PC, like the my Wi-Fi.
Yeah, something's definitely wrong because the last thing we just heard was my Wi-Fi.
My PC is being a bit weird.
Chris, are you hearing everything?
No, I don't think so.
Curious. Okie doke. Oh yes, as per usual, we are going to need somebody to be nice and share their screen so that Dave can see what you see, because Dave at the moment is still without a working computer.
Oh, I don't need to do that as well.
So both Liz and Mark rushed to assist there.
Quick, press the button!
No one left behind. Cool. Alright, groovy. So,
Yeah,
first
I
thing
can stream
I'm
myself.
Oh, there we go. Everybody's logging in now. So, the first thing I'm going to do is to give folks' connections a chance to catch up, is to stop the ship rumble. And then I am going to stop the Sirenscape intro theme, and I'm gonna twang us over quickly to the Combs' new intro video. Thank you very much to Webby for doing this for us, even if he is on the Navis. We won't hold that against him.
Are you able to see the
Yeah, we
screen?
will.
Somebody will
I just
hold
want to
it
make
against
sure. I'm just making sure I didn't accidentally hit the
him. Yeah.
show Discord page, not the game page.
So, yes, let's jump in that direction. I'm going to do a quick PC restart, see if that fixes it. No problem, Chris. Here's hoping. In the meantime, we'll be back with you in a couple of seconds. Folks, stay tuned. Here comes the video. Welcome, folks, back to the continuing adventures of the crew of the USS Combs. I am MJ the GM, and I shall be your games master for the foreseeable future. With me are the entirety of our crew, and I will bring us back into focus just a moment as I swing us over to the boundary page. So, yes, we are now one episode into Season 2 of the Adventures of the Combs crew, and we've already got a couple of interesting changes. Tavish has, our chief engineer, has got a device in her head. Dr. Sott has grown a beard, and our first officer is now a full Klingon, rather than just half of one. So,
Okay, I gotta get rid of some of the human traits.
well, done. So, yes, plenty of change has occurred. But before we jump into today's episode, we first have the requisite plugs that we need to do. Apparently Dave's getting an echo, so I'm just going to hold off on the plugs for a moment. Just going to check some technical issues here. Dave, are you still getting an echo?
I think it's because Liz is
was watching the intro video?
No,
okay.
is streaming Discord.
Aha.
Oh. Yeah, let me
Streaming
fix
Discord rather than just Boing.
Oh no, that's better.
That's why I was asking. It's like, am I streaming Discord or am I streaming the actual game?
You should be streaming your just share
Yes,
your if
yes,
it gives you the option, just
all,
share
it's
your
all
browser.
better now.
Okay. I hit the wrong
It's all
screen.
better now. Thanks, Liz.
We're professionals here, honestly.
For the last like 3 or 4 minutes, that's what I've been listening to.
Right,
So you've been hearing me twice. Excellent.
Yes.
I guess not.
Ooh. Yes.
Hello.
We hear you, Chris. Chris.
Hey.
We have you, Chris. Can you hear us? Come in, Mr. P.
I might like. I can. There's a lot of cutting out though. I'm just looking at my Discord.
Yeah, you're cutting out for us too, sadly. You may just have to sit next to Connie.
I might have to just sort of. Yeah. Okay.
Connie, be nice. You're gonna have to share some space with Chris. But he's not allowed control of the keyboard.
Move my character, I think.
Okay, so he can still use Forge. It's just Discord that he needs to.
Yeah, so essentially you're probably going to need to turn Discord over and stuff onto speakers if you don't already have them on speakers.
I'll
But
do
hey.
that now.
We'll see how we do. Technology, eh? Huh. Which is ironic, considering this is a game entirely about futuristic technology almost, but you know. Hold on. We do what we can with what we've got. Which in this case is, of course, the fact that we are now going to plug Mr. Powell's channel, the Utter Crisp. We still don't have his latest video by the looks of it, but we've still got all of his playlists still to go through if you are needing to remind yourselves of what the Utter Crisp has got available on his channel. Right here for you on my screen right now if you want to know where to find it and what he's got. And as for Mr. Bell, well, I'll let you tell us what's new for you.
Unfortunately, not a lot. I do have a few projects in the pipeline, but yeah, I'm still waiting for them to come out, and so I can actually plug them. But so I'm still going with Solarity, my Greasefire Life Episode 2,
Oh yeah.
and Midwinter. Have a listen to those. Oh yeah, and Legends of Campion as well.
Greasefire Life, Plotting with
yep.
Necromancer, Midwinter, all here for you
Yep.
guys, right there.
Yep. The Legends of Campion as well as. I'm pretty sure there's some more stuff coming soon there.
Queens. So I'll get Legends of Campion into the description link of the video when I can find it, basically. When I post this on YouTube later. Alrighty.
Mhm.
Now then, as ever, the first thing we're going to be dealing with before we go any further is going to be the usual jobby of milestones and acclaim. If folks have got anything they want to spend milestones and or acclaim on, now would be the time to do it, since we are at the beginning of a new episode.
Well, it's not more spending, it's more I gotta get rid of Resolute, because that's a human trait. And I am no longer
It's
have
entirely up to
human
you,
pathway.
because you already had it and the change has been largely genetic and foisted upon you. The talent itself can stay, unless you do actually want to get rid of it because you hate your human half so much you can't even have traits and talents on your character sheet that remind you of that time.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna get this lovely one that ups my resistance.
You spooky do. Which one was that specifically again? Remind me.
Can't remember how to pronounce it.
So it
It's
was
the one
of
that's on the bottom now.
It was one of the Klingon species talents, yes?
Yeah, Klingon's resistance increases by +2 against non-lethal attacks.
Ah, Bracklol. Yes. So whereas Resolute gives you stress of 3 against everything, you want to flip it for Bracklol for Klingon traits. Okay, so that sounds to me, if I could just check our doodad with milestones. Replace one of your character's talents with another, so that sounds like or reads, I should say, like the expenditure of a medium talent, which you don't have one spare of yet. You have used them. So, are you alright with holding on to Resolute for now,
Oh,
until you can spend a milestone to flip it?
you can just get rid of it for now.
Just get rid.
Yeah.
Okay. Pop. Okay. So the stress of being transformed, of course, has left its own physical markers at the moment, so Trasa's a bit less able to cope with stress than she was before, but we'll be moving on to getting you some talents and stuff that you can actually use later on when you've got them milestones with which to use it. Which, of course, comes with completing an episode. So, anybody else with anything else they want to be doing with their characters while we're here?
I mean, I absolutely want to spend a claim, but
Yep,
no
okay.
other changes.
Yeah, same here.
Any idea what you wanted to spend your reclaims on?
Is there anyone who doesn't have a Legion of Honor?
If you want to ensure that there is at least... I think everybody has got probably 2 Legions of Honor. No, okay, pardon me. Tavish has only got the 1. Sot has only got the 1. Bless... well, pretty much everybody else except those 2 has... No, pardon me. Trasa has only got the 1. So half have got 1, the other half have got 2. Even Captain Sobek has got 1. But Lieutenant
Looking at
Commander
the-
Lian Zhang does not.
Okay.
Cool.
Um,
If you want, I can
I
throw us
see.
onto deck 1 so you can see some of the supporting characters as well.
I think so, please.
Okay, switching over.
I'm gonna go for the Star Cross, if I can get more than one of those. Doesn't say.
The Star Cross, you've already got one.
But can I get another one?
Distinguished actions, yeah, no conditions. Once permission, you can attempt to apply a focus and get double your focus range. Yep, sure.
Cool. I've got a spare acclaim I can give away if someone needs one, or if we're piling them up to give to a NPC.
So there we are. Flesk has got 1 acclaim remaining, and if you just want to alter your Star Cross so that you tag it like the others, there you go. Lovely jubbly.
Okay, if we can get double Star Cross, I want that as well, and I'll donate my remaining acclaim.
I like this ripple effect that this crew tends to have. One has an idea, and the rest are like, yeah, actually, that sounds like a pretty smart idea.
Oh, I do have 2 Legions of Honor because I have 2 little asterisks next to the Legion of Honor.
Yep. Good. So Gurkau is reducing her acclaim by 3, leaving 1 behind, so that Gurkau now has double the Star Cross. So feel free to edit as you have just done. Anybody else jumping on the Star Cross bandwagon while we're here?
Let's have a look.
To up my house's reputation, that's
Oh, yes.
only 4 claim, right?
Let me have a moment to check. Gotta find the Klingon core book. Where did I put it? There it is. Did I have the thing backed up? Boop, 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 boop.
Where am I?
House creation and development should be at 136. Right then, houses. Right, those are normal awards when you're a Klingon, but your house creation and development. Finishing touches, that's designing your house. Okay. House in play. Respect rivalry. That's reputation. Where did the thing go with what you can spend? Aha. May use your milestones and your reputation, or acclaim in this case, to affect your house with the highest line of succession. You can use a milestone to alter a house's attributes, or it looks like a medium one to or a character art to increase an attribute. It looks like a medium to a minor. But reputation, if your reputation is lower than that of your house, you suffer a negative influence. If your reputation is greater than that of your house, 2, you may spend a claim to secure another house encountered during the adventure as an ally, which we haven't done yet. Or have we? Technically, House Akul, if you wanted to. Increase your house's reputation by 1 was spending glory equal to your house's existing reputation. That was it. So it does work in a similar way to a character. So if we look at House Krell, their current reputation sits at reputation 4. So if you wanted to increase it to 5, you would have to spend 5 acclaim.
Aww.
Something to aim for next time, perhaps.
Well, we do have 2
However, yes.
acclaim knocking around, so I'm happy to donate my spare acclaim to congratulate Trasa for not her transformation, for being proved innocent.
Well done for becoming a full Klingon without the actual, legal ramifications involved. Here's a biscuit. Or as we call, a point of acclaim. If you want to do that, then that means that, Trasa will have 5 acclaim rather than just the 4, and so can actually spend it to improve your house's reputation.
Boom.
Yay, and then it'll be reputation 5.
Yep. Toppest reputation. There we are. So Flask now got 0. Trasa now has 5. Which means you can spend all 5 on improving your house's reputation.
Yep, which means 0 and 5.
So House Krell actually has its own entry now elsewhere for reasons that may or may not become apparent depending on what happens by the end of this episode. So you have got your house has now got the toppest reputation possible. Nice.
All Zippy's doing.
All Zippy's. Zippy was just such a well-behaved Muragar that it improved the lot of House Krell. Soon the entire Empire is now going to follow suit, and Trasa's become a trendsetter. Everyone's going to want a Muragar. Knows. Right. Anybody else want to be spending acclaim and/or momentum? Several at once. Okay. Let's go with Connie. Were you about to say something?
I was just saying that Chris wants to get his first Star Cross.
He's popped his Starcross cherry.
A bit grim. Yes.
Cool, no problem. Starcross has no conditions on getting it, and, you've done plenty of distinguished actions, so by all means, Dr. Sotz can spend 3 to get himself a Starcross. So, as with your own, you can, if you can find the Starcross, just drag it over to, there we go, done. Smart. Spooky doo. Starcross medal and hot dog flavored replicator. Mark, shame on you. Bringing that Fred Durst nonsense into. Now, to be fair, it was just Fred Durst for the most part. That was the not quite nice person of Limp Bizkit. Wes Borland, I think, is the main guitarist.
I
Could
do
be
not
corrected on that.
Yeah.
I always thought he was the main talent of that group, personally. There we go.
He was.
There we are then. I at least have got one person to back me up. I'm pretty sure my brother echoed the same sentiment, so there we are. I've got 2. All right, so Dr. Sot has won his first award. Anybody else? Mr. Bell, were you wanting to get anything for Garrow?
Yes, I'm gonna go for the Starcross as well.
Well, we're all leaping on the Starcross bandwagon. Alrighty.
I'll just drag that across.
Garrow. Yep, and I will take off your acclaim so that you've got 1 remaining.
There we go.
Wicked. Dave, anything you want to get for Tavish whilst we're on the awards?
Can I use my claim to have 1 free plug-in to the main computer?
You can certainly buy a trait for Tavish by spending acclaim, which I believe was a claim to the tune of 3, but I want to make absolutely certain I'm not getting that wrong. Let me check that. Let's go to...
Got 4.
Status, it was 3. Gain favor was something. Promotion, elevation was 3. Looks like it's actually 3. So you've definitely got enough to give yourself... I'll give Tavish, rather, I should say, a new trait, which is basically computer port. How can I word this succinctly as a trait? Implant computer port. There we go. So that's something that could prove both detrimental and advantageous, depending on the circumstances. So that definitely falls into line with what a trait should be. Nice. Okay. It has.
I like how
pluses.
there's attack.
Go on, Liz.
No, it's just getting the crew on board for this.
I see. So Tavish went ahead and did it without telling the crew, and then it's like, surprise, guys! Guess what this is?
Look, I have a USB 27.
I was looking at the Savage's attack patterns, and I saw the Hopkins ram.
Well, yes, you've now got an entire maneuver, a ramming maneuver named after you. Why not? Rather than a regular ramming maneuver, this is the ramming maneuver that requires the ship to spin like a corkscrew, so that you drill into the opposing ship. Anyway, that seems to be everybody, I do believe. So everybody happy with what they've got thus far?
Mm-hmm.
I'll take that as a yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Grooves. So there are a couple of science projects that are going on. We've still got Gurkhau's adrenal booster, which is being worked on. Somebody, I think it was Tavish, was wanting... No, actually, he was working on the...
I'm helping Chris. No, that was...
That's
Mark.
marking it. Yeah.
Yeah, the repair droids are mine.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm helping Chris with his.
Right, so training the Murgar is definitely Trasa. Garrow is trying to develop an energy dampening and absorption weapon, so a siphon weapon. Cool. And we've also got an eye on a future project for an auto-resonance shifter for phasers. So plenty still to do. So how about we go to the top of my list, and we start off with Gurkhau's adrenal booster. So, we have currently done botany as our pursuit avenue. Now we are trying xenobiology. So, it's all Gurkhau's show. She can get whoever she wants to work on it with her, but of course xenobiology suggests somebody in the medical profession could and should help. I don't think Dr. Sot has got xenobiology, does he?
No. We have Nurse Uro for xenobiology.
Aha. The emergency medical drone does not, so it looks like it's Nurse Uro.
No.
Cool.
Is it possible? Could I make a case for the internal medicine focus for the medical drone?
considering you're doing xenobiology as the means of trying to create an adrenal booster, okay, I can be persuaded with that one.
Lovely, lovely. So I think just those two. Just those two, really.
Okay, so Gurkhau's leading this, and the other two are supporting this. It's going to be reason and medicine for those who are doing it. That does include Gurkhau, I'm afraid, unless she spends momentum, which isn't there. So unless you want to give me extra threat before we start...
Let me see. Damn it! No, it's okay. I'll try medicine. My 1 point with medicine.
Dang. Nearly trapped her there. I hope you noticed that, folks. Okay, so reason and medicine, it's all down to how many successes you can accrue, both with yourself and your assistants. So, let's have... Well, let's have maybe Mr... Actually, no. Chris Powell is currently away from your ability to affect much, aren't you?
You can go on Forge, you just can't do the Discord.
I can still interact, just can't do Discord. Okay, fine. In that case, you can be... What, do you want to be the EMD or Nurse Uro? EMD. Okay, cool. Can we get... Who else is going to be doing this? Liz, do you mind being the Nurse Uro, please?
Okay.
Thank you. Nurse Uro and the EMD are both only rolling 1 dice each, and everybody is doing reason and medicine. If somebody has got the xenobiology focus, which I believe Nurse Uro does, then feel free to roll on that focus. Internal medicine was also made a case for, so that means the EMD also gets... There we are, wicked. 3 so far, so it's all now down to Gurkhau's pure talent.
Come on. I'm gonna need a success.
Whoa, you got a 1, so you've got a... Gee, willikers. And
Damn!
it looks like you threw in a determination in there too?
Did I?
Looks like it. You've got an extra dice there that had a 1 on it, so...
Sorry, no, that's alright. Disregard that then. I clicked the wrong box for the focus.
Okay, so you've only got
How
3 successes on that one.
Ah!
No, don't worry about it. All we'll do is we'll take away the 1. We'll take away the 1 from the previous one, which means you only got 3 successes, 4 successes, 5, 6 successes. Groovy. 6 successes on your... Well, that's actually darn close to the finish line. You reckon you're onto a winner here? All the simulations you run are starting to show very positive results. You reckon you've safely hit upon a compound that could be safe to use for multiple different species, even though technically their equivalent of their adrenal systems might work a little differently. The effect you're looking for is the same, so the compound you're engineering can get some form of adaptation worked into it so that it does achieve its desired result. Unless, of course, the recipient has got a wildly different internal or chemical structure. So, at the moment, it looks like you're very close to the end of a very promising avenue of investigation here, the full results of which will be made apparent when you finally do construct and test it in its final stage. Nice. Nearly there.
Beautiful.
So this brings us on to the creating or the reinstating of the dot droids for for ship repairs and stuff.
Awesome.
So you were looking to start with ancient power sources, I do believe.
That's right. I think we made a little progress, but not much.
I'm showing none at all, actually. So it was
Then
all
we made absolutely no
hypothetical.
progress. Yeah,
It was all hypothetical.
The idea.
I believe, so.
It's a thought of an idea.
So this is Flesk's baby, so whoever he wants to bring in on the thing, anyone with any knowledge of... I mean, what are you doing? Ancient power sources. So anyone with any generic knowledge on power systems would be useful to have. Anybody with some kind of xenoarchaeological background would be helpful as well. Unfortunately, the crew member you had who had that kind of xenoarchaeological focus has since been lost to you, so...
I was just going to go for people with some engineering background, like maybe Zomvagor. And
All hail Zonvagor.
I mean, maybe the captain? He tried last time. Maybe he
keeps
still wants
trying.
to... Yeah. The
Let's be right
investigation
back.
and invention. He likes the idea, the inventiveness of it. So,
Yeah.
drag those two in.
Okay, so we're going for Zonvagor and Captain Sobek. Can I please get Mr. Bell to be the ultimate transporter chief, Zonvagor? Meanwhile, we can have... If Liz has left us momentarily, then who have we got left? Pretty much just... Mr. Powell, could you be Captain Sobek for me, please? Sure, says
Sure.
the EMD. I will play the part of your captain for this evening, if you wish. So, the captain is looking for pretty much reason and engineering now, I do believe. So, Chief Zonvagor will be rolling 1 dice. Captain Sobek will also be doing reason and engineering with 1 dice, but we'll get to add the focus of invention.
And I can use a focus on this for transporters.
Not at the moment, no. Zonvagor is just going to go on pure talent, I'm afraid.
Okay.
Good
Going for
grief! The captain had a success. And so did Zonvagor. Of course, Zonvagor got a success.
Right, reason and engineering.
Yes,
2
please.
dice with a focus in power systems.
Go for it. Nice. 4
Nice.
successes. Successful integration all around.
Hmm.
So, utilizing the ancient power sources that you have been coming across in your travels as a basis for creating a bunch of little self-sustaining robots that can be used and deployed to move around the ship and conduct repairs as necessary, especially when areas of the ship can become difficult to access. They can be very handy. At the moment, though, you're just running the numbers. Numbers are looking okay. Lots of interesting stuff you've come across, particularly that security droid that you got the power source from, and of course the entire chassis of which Trasa Hopkins does not have in her quarters, honest gov. Absolutely nothing to see if you go in there, no sir. Okay, so a start has been made. And so far, so interesting. Not sure about the outcome as of yet, it's too early to tell, but you never know. Trasa and training of the Murigar. Let's see if you can get Zippy to actually, respond to commands. You were using animal handling as your current avenue of investigation. Is Liz back with us? Doesn't look like. Okay, we will come back to Murigar then. So that leaves us with Garrow's energy dampening siphon weapon.
Mhm.
So, you're currently looking at energy dampening as a focus of investigation. So it's pretty much anyone with any kind of expertise in that kind of area that would be useful to you. I mean, interference with energy systems. We think who would be good for that? I mean, Tavish has got experimental technology as a focus, so Tavish could be useful.
Yeah, I said to Garrow I would give him a hand on this. So anyway, I can give him a hand on
Cool. Has anybody else
this.
got
I will.
to use? Why am I looking at stellar cartography? She can't help. Technically, because quantum mechanics can fit into nearly anything within a certain boundary of reason, it's one of those widgy-woo sciences that can squirm its way into pretty much anything. So, Ensign Eversion could potentially help, since essentially you're trying to take energy from one place and put it in another. So a certain amount of quantum mechanics might be useful there. So Tavish for one help, Ensign Eversion for another help. Should be good. Okay. So unless anybody can think of anybody else to add to the mix, then we'll go with that. So this is going to be reason and security for Garrow. I think the closest focus Garrow has got would be shipboard tactical systems. So we'll go with that. Mark, can I have you helming Tavish's role, as long as Dave's alright with that?
Yeah.
And since Ensign Eversion is one of Gurkhow's lot, how about you you pilot your boy on that one, Connie?
Yeah, sure.
So Eversion is working from the science angle, so he can do reason and science. Tavish can work this from the engineering angle, so can do reason and engineering with a focus. Eversion with a focus too. Garrow rolling 2 dice with a focus. So
Okay. Going for it.
righty ho. Dice, dice, dice. Whoa! Eversion is working hard. Apparently he really, really likes this project and scores 2 successes. Everyone scored successes. That's 4 overall. Not bad. Not bad at all. Not bad.
Connie's on fire today.
Really is.
It helps with the accidental determination from the first go, and then, you've got to carry through.
Phenomenal dice rolling power.
So what you're telling me is we're making Connie do all the important roles today. That's what I'm hearing.
No pressure.
Jinxed it.
No pressure, Connie, but we're all depending on you now. Okay. So, just like with the creation of the new dot droids, Garrow's energy siphon weapon is looking interesting. Looking into different types of energy dampening technology to see if it can be used in a kind of combative sense. So at the moment you're running numbers. There are a couple of weapon systems that do similar things that other species are known to use, so you're using them as a basis. So, interesting so far. But at the moment it's all down to numbers and maths. We'll see how they work out when it comes to actually creating models. And Liz is back just in time. Nice, nice, nice. So that's pretty much everybody. Go on, sorry, Dave.
I was just about to say, I did not hack into the Romulan High Command. Promise.
The word you want to put down is yet. I mean, it's only fair. They're probably doing the same thing to you guys.
Yeah. I'm
Bloody
definitely not
fuckers.
part of Section 31. Honest Gov.
Yet.
Forgive me, but Tavish being part of Section 31 would be the biggest lie. Can you imagine somebody this unstable? Is unstable the right word? I can't think of a word other than... Can you think of anybody more Tavish than Tavish to be amongst Section 31? Section 31 must already have run a kind of risk-reward scenario where they go, yeah, she'll blow us up accidentally. Eccentric, yes, thank you. We'll get her working on this incredibly powerful weapon, and she'll just run it without telling us, without engaging the safety measures first, and boom. Not that there is such a thing as Section 31.
I've got someone to talk to. In my head, but it's fine.
Now the question would be, Would that give you more evil thoughts?
No.
I am not evil. I am simply logical.
Exactly.
Well, that's
no,
all right.
what's that? Oh no, that was in my head. Sorry. She said.
Okay, I got to throw this one in as well.
Besides which, good and evil are merely social constructs.
I love my AI.
I am acquainted with you.
What?
Hang on. Moving on. Okay, so it has been since the episode where you managed to exonerate your first officer of any wrongdoing. It's been a day or so, and pretty much the Starfleet intelligence have been having a bit of a time. They did take a little bit of time to debrief you all, but your own logs on your own witness reports on what happened when you went into Klingon space in order to prove that Trasa was not a spy pretty much spoke for itself. So you have been given leave to go back to work, which means reporting back to Narendra Station. And so we start our a new day on Narendra Station. So let's just change the ambience a little bit here. So everybody has reported back to their quarters on Narendra Station. The atmosphere definitely seems different when you come back. There's a definite degree of quiet around the place, a lot less chat in the corridors than there were before, and there's definitely a lot of side-eyeing going on between the Klingon and Federation folk. The Klingons weren't exactly all that sociable before, because they had entire sections of the station that were pretty much dedicated as their space, which was mostly the lower areas of the station. But now there's definitely a lot fewer Klingon officers and civilians as well in the Federation section than there were before. On this particular morning, Trasa is looking at herself in the mirror in her quarters, still getting used to the whole being Klingon thing. She is, of course, somewhat taller and a lot more muscular than she was before, and so is trying to settle into her new skin, as it were, when she gets an alert beep chime on her door. There's somebody asking for admittance.
You can come in.
General Kargan himself, in his full regalia, comes into Trasa's quarters. Ah, Commander. I was hoping I had caught you before you had reported for duty. You look better than you did before, I have to say. This transformation suits you.
Thank you, General. Would you like anything to drink?
I'm afraid I have no such time for frivolities at the moment. There is business to see to. But part of that business is yourself. General Kargan walks right up next to Trasa and puts a big, heavy hand on her shoulder. You are a full Klingon now, but your actions up until this point have brought much honor to your house. You have been more of them You have been less of them and more of us. And this now shows in your appearance, your outward as well as your inward self. I take that as a sign. A good sign. Especially as there is now a choice to be made very soon. Trasa, it has not gone unnoticed, your value to the Empire. Chancellor Gowron himself says that if you were to pledge your allegiance to the Empire, it would not only bring glory to your house, but you would be able to retain your rank in the Klingon military, maybe even gain first officership aboard a Klingon ship. All that we ask is that you bring all of your Starfleet knowledge, your expertise, and of course, your knowledge of their protocols, their tactics, their operations. You can see how valuable you are to us, Trasa. With your knowledge, whatever happens next could be short-lived. Short-lived enough that we could pierce past the Federation and go straight to the Cardassians. We could expose their Dominion affiliation and stop any such argument before it even has time to blow up. What say you, Trasa? And he holds out his hand as if looking for a warrior's grip. Will you join your people?
What about the crew of the Combs? While I am mad at Starfleet, this crew at least did all they could to prove my innocence.
They are your shipmates, and they deserve recognition for their actions, yes. But they are still on the wrong side of this argument. They still cannot see what we see. How could a civilian government thrive against a military autocracy? It has to be the Dominion. Chancellor Gowron believes it. I believe it. Surely you can see the logic in this as well. Why the Federation continues to refuse to see what is obvious. This cannot be tolerated for much longer. Movements are afoot, Trasa. Movements are afoot that could see you earn more glory for your house in an upcoming conflict that could shape the rest of the Alpha and Beta quadrants. Would you deny yourself and your house this chance at honor and glory? Do you seriously think that your Combs crew members would come onto the Empire's side as well?
I don't know if they would, but at least they have done more than the Federation has.
Your crew members are worthy of respect, and the fact that you still show them such loyalty is a mark of honor in their regard. But there may come a time where you may come at odds with them, Trasa. Would you be prepared to do that for the Empire? Let us not also forget that you were gifted the Gwicha by Chancellor Gowron himself. It was a gift to show how much you mean to the Empire, Trasa. But do be aware that such gifts and such favors can also be taken away. He straightens up and seems to brighten a little bit, or at very least outwardly seems to brighten. Think on it at least.
Yes, that I definitely would. And then she will shake his hand.
In the Klingon fashion or in the Federation fashion?
Definitely the Klingon.
Do not take too long, Trasa.
100%.
Like I said, things are afoot, and we need to move decisively, quickly. You may not have long to deliberate. If there are no parting words for the General, then General Kargan just simply nods at Trasa and leaves. Meanwhile, Tavish and Flesk are once again escorting their children down to the school area. They've got their kids ready and ready to be delivered to their classrooms, and you are walking with your children hand in hand down towards the actual school area of the station. And as you get closer, both Flesk and Tavish notice that there is something of a commotion going on. Those parents and their children who are usually in the classroom by now at this point are all kind of milling around outside the classroom doors, and it seems the teacher herself, a Denobulan by the name of Trillic, she is closing the classroom doors, and on the keypad is basically powering the classroom down.
Oh, what's going on?
I'm sorry, everybody, says Trillic, but I'm afraid we're having to shut down classes for the immediate future. Thank you all very much for attending, but Command has asked that you all go back to your quarters for now. Thank you. She doesn't have much else to say, but both Tavish and Flesk, it doesn't take either of them long to notice that the Klingon students are nowhere to be seen.
Flesk.
Yes?
I'll get in touch with you. I'll get in touch with you when I'm back at my quarters. Okay.
Oh, I mean, if we go to the bridge later, or if we have to pick up missions, you're welcome to drop off your child to babysit with the rest of my family.
That is very much true.
Not sure what's going on here.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have somebody who can look after her, I think. But yes, thank you very much for the offer. But yeah, this seems a little bit weird.
Yeah, I wonder what's going on. I'll talk to you back in the quarters.
Yes.
So, Flesk's little boy, who had a Klingon friend, he just comes back saying, "I can't find him anywhere."
We don't know what's going on. Maybe he's not well.
Oh. I hope it wasn't
We'll find
those
out
chocolates
soon.
I gave him.
I think it wasn't, but we can find out soon. I'm sure everything's going to be fine.
Meanwhile, before we get to Tavish and Flesk resolving their little talk, we have Garrow and Gurkow, and probably Dr. Sot, gathered in the usual place where they have their drinks, whilst they're getting some R&R. And the three of you notice that... Shots! Yes, quite. The three of you notice that there's a lot fewer people in the place than there used to be. So, like with most things, you're noticing that there's a lot fewer people around, especially the Klingons. A couple of Klingon merchants, so basically Klingon civilians, are just kind of sat by themselves, a pair of them, in the corner. It's the same merchant civilian pair that Flesk had that drink with that one time, and also got into the arm wrestling contest with. So those two guys are regulars at Zargo's place, but at the moment they're just kind of sitting quietly. When a Klingon officer comes in, looks around, claps eyes on the two of them, walks over and seems to have a very brief conversation with them, at which point the two merchant civilian Klingons just kind of pack up their drinks, stand up, straighten themselves off, and walk off with the officer. Make of that what you will. So, by this point, Tavish and Flask have both made it back to their respective quarters, so Dave, whatever you wanted to have Tavish say.
There's just going to be background noise of denobulant chaos.
What do you mean they cancelled the school?
And there's just a little, a little Tavish running around going, you know what, if we put this wire and this wire together.
So yes, quickly one of Flesk's wives runs up to the replicator and goes, no, children, let's get away from the replicator. She kind of casts a bit of a dirty glance in Tavish's direction, almost as if this is your kind of look.
She knows what she's doing.
Yes. But at the meantime, yes, there's kind of chaos going around as Flesk's older children are being no help with controlling the younger children, who've now realised there's no school for the day, so they're running circles around everything, all having a big old play. So, yes.
Have you, Flesk, have you noticed any Klingons at all on the station?
The absence of Klingons is weird.
Yes. Yeah.
There barely any. I don't think there's any in any of the civilian or shared areas. There's definitely Klingon ships in the docking area, so they're here. I have no idea where they are.
Do you think it's an idea to get in touch with the captain and see if he has any more information?
I'm hoping when we report for duty, they're going to tell us what's going on.
Okay. Right.
Sorry, nope, go on.
Oh no, I was going to say. I was just going to go. Okay. Let's report for duty then.
And for the
One of Flesk's wives looks up and goes, "Oh, that's okay. I'll just manage this chaos on my own, shall I?"
Oh, thank you very much. That's amazing. That takes a weight off of my mind.
Flask quickly leaves before she has any chance of making a reply.
Your
Thanks,
wife's
honey,
so
love you,
lovely
bye.
to do that for you.
Quick.
Something
go now.
may or may not have gotten thrown at Flask as he makes his way out the door.
Did you hear that, Flesk?
Nope, nothing to hear.
Are Garrow, Sot, and Gurkha doing anything in this meantime? Particular?
Dabo!
I mean,
Well, yeah.
get drunk, play double.
Oh, you're actually getting drunk. Okay, interesting.
No
Well, that-
Klingons to get into fights with, though.
Quite. Yeah, the Klingons were the easiest marks. You can rile them up easier when it comes to Dabo.
Yeah,
I'm a doctor, not a
happy
mediator.
Yeah, I'm happy to have a few drinks, play a bit of Davo, but yeah, within reason.
Okay, so you guys are just chilling. Cool. Alright, so we zip back ever so quickly to Trasa in her quarters, who's getting ready to report for duty, just like the others are. But of course, Trasa has now got one eye on the Starfleet uniform and one eye on the Klingon uniform that was sent to her. When there's another chime at the door. And, actually, no, I can't. They can't do that. So, it's a case of, yes, there's an insistent chime for someone asking to enter into Trasa's quarters.
Yeah. She'll open the door.
It's her aunt, Lady Jadark. And as soon as the doors open and Trasa just sees her, Lady Jadark just nods and walks into her quarters and just starts looking around. It occurs to me that I haven't actually used the time that you've been on this station to visit your quarters. She's there just looking around the place.
We've both been busy.
Yes, yes. Duty. Duty, of course, is the first consideration of any Klingon. Which is primarily why I'm here. I hear that General Kargan visited you earlier.
He did.
No doubt he was giving you an ultimatum.
In a way, yes.
Trasa, I will not pretend to know how difficult this situation must be for you and how difficult it has been in the past. The simple case here is that you do have a choice, but both of them do not have easy answers. Irrespective of what General Kargan may or may not have offered you, the truth of the matter is that you are of my house, and our house is not a great house. Where the great houses lead, the rest of the houses must follow. Whatever happens, or whatever is about to happen, House Krell will of course remain loyal to the Empire. But beware accepting offers from politicians. As much as General Kargan may very well deny such official stamp, he still is very much in Chancellor Gowron's court. I believe the human term for it is yes man. One should often be very wary of the promises that politicians give. In the end, however, I have known you to be a brave and honorable and duty-bound woman. True, your Klingon passions have occasionally run counter to this whole idea of Starfleet discipline. And too often it has brought you in direct conflict with human values. But in the end, it is you who makes the decision of where you go and what you do. And you will have to live with the consequences of those decisions. I just simply ask that you consider every eventuality before you make a decision. That is all I came here to say. And so Lady Jadark just leaves. Just exits through the door. In the meantime, whilst Trasa is busy silently reflecting on what just happened, there is a sudden announcement over the tannoy of the station. All Starfleet officers, please report to the auditorium. Repeat, all Starfleet officers, report to the auditorium. Thank you. So, the auditorium has been the place where you have had mission briefs and debriefs before now, so here we go to the auditorium. So we find the auditorium pretty much as we might expect. You have the crews of the Thunderchild present, you have the crew of the USS Venture present, and of course we have the USS Combs crew present. There are also a couple of extra characters around. Admiral Hebert herself and her main administrative assistant, Lieutenant Sharessa. There is Dr. Helena Taliaferro, who is, of course, the civilian science head here on Narendra Station. And you've also got Master Chief Petty Officer Tiene and Lieutenant Commander Sardavelli, the latter of which is the Federation security operative on the station. Master Chief Petty Officer Tiene is the dock master, or dock mistress, depending on how you want to address it, of the station. So it's kind of interesting that you would see them here. And of course, the spot that's usually taken up by the one definite Klingon ship crew that you have here, the crew of the MupwI, are absent. So you guys are just currently all lined up, sat down on the seats in your, according to your ships. Unless there's anything particular you guys want to do at this juncture. Then
I don't think I have control on my target.
Okey-doke. Let's have a look. What's going on here? Represented actor is that. Let's just check that you've got access. Oh, it's gone off. Yikes. What happened there? Bop. Now try.
Yes.
There we go. Much better. Oh, I see. Going to the very, very edge. Captain Sobek does kind of look to his left as he notices Trasa leaving, but then straightens himself when he notices that the captain and first officer of the Thunderchild are both looking in you guys' general direction. Alright, so Lieutenant Sharessa, the Admiral Hebert's assistant, hands her a datapad and then goes over to the address system, where Admiral Hebert takes a step back and addresses you all. Let me find. Thank you for coming, everyone. 24 standard hours ago, the Klingon government announced its intention to claim the Arcanus sector, currently under Federation membership. This has escalated what was already tense diplomatic relations to outright hostility between our two governments. As of 4 hours ago, the Federation, in negotiation with the Klingon Empire, has decided to cede control of Narendra Station to the Klingons, citing their engineering efforts being predominantly responsible for its construction. As such, the Klingon government has decreed that all Federation citizens are to leave the station, effective immediately. I know this comes as a shock to many of us. We've spent the last year or more building relations, alliances, even friendships with our Klingon neighbors. Nevertheless, the Klingon government has made it clear that the Federation is no longer welcome in their space. And so, with a heavy heart, I must order everyone to pack up their belongings and prepare to leave the station. All security and science personnel are to begin the process of shutting down all operations, packing up materials, and backing up data in preparation for transfer to another as yet undisclosed facility. Even though we have the USS Venture at our disposal, our vaunted Galaxy class doesn't have enough space to accommodate everyone and everything that must be evacuated. As such, I have put in requests with the Federation and any allied third parties to loan any and every available vessel capable of delivering our people across Klingon space back to the Federation. By order of Chancellor Gowron, all such Federation ships will have an escort through Klingon space. No exceptions. Due to the size of the operation needed to fully remove ourselves from the station, we have been granted a degree of leeway for how long this evacuation is likely to take. But the Klingon government will only wait so long. As such, all available Starfleet personnel will be tasked with aiding the evacuation. For such assignments, please report to Lieutenant Commander Sar Develli at the security station. The Thunderchild and the Venture will be tasked with shepherding Federation citizens as well as science and security materials. If anyone has any questions, please direct them to my office, and we shall endeavor to aid you in any way we can. These are troubled times. But if there's one tenet that defines the Federation, it is hope. Hope that things can get better. And I still hold out hope that this is a temporary measure. And so should you. Thank you all. The crew of the Combs will remain behind, please. Everyone else is dismissed. And so, the crew of the Thunderchild kind of loudly, or the captain at the very least, loudly goes off tutting about the fact that a warship like the Thunderchild is being reduced to shepherding and shipping. But nevertheless, they all quickly depart without saying anything to anyone. Chief Petty Officer, of course, just puts her head, puts her palm to her head and comes over to start, obviously, organising what's going to go on. Packing up a family of 70 is going to be quite the plan indeed, yes. Dr. Helena Taliaferro looks enraged and does stomp over to Admiral Hebert, who looks like she was expecting this tirade. Meanwhile, Sar Develli, of course, has to depart for her own security station in order to start with processing evacuations and such. So... Meanwhile, Captain Corbett of the Venture comes over and starts conversing with Captain Sobek and any of yourselves who want to similarly chat about what's just happened. Scarce believe it, says Captain Corbett. All of this time, all of this effort, and they're simply just going to kick us out? It's disappointing, to say the least. I suppose this will mean that the Venture has to go back to being pretty much what everybody else in Starfleet tends to call the Galaxy classes, which is being a flying hotel in space. Well, orders are orders, I suppose. I wonder what possessed the Klingons to go this far. Captain Sobek has no easy answer.
Where will we be sending our civilian population and our families? Where's the nearest station? Or colony?
Captain Sobek does interject himself into this part of the conversation. Logic would seem to suggest that Starbase 234 would make the most apt location to at least begin disseminating our evacuees to wherever it is we're going to be siphoned to. It is the nearest starbase on the edge of Klingon space. This is indeed a disappointment. And it is going to be something of a logistical, how do you put it, nightmare in order to actualize. Nevertheless, I am curious as to why Admiral Hebert wants ourselves to stay behind. At which point, Captain Corbett just simply dismisses himself and goes about organizing things with his crew. Commander Trasa, this does introduce an altogether more difficult situation for you. I feel I must ask. What are you going to do?
I have no clue. Though you are not the first to have asked me this. In fact, you are the third.
I see. It is only logical that the Klingons would indeed court your service. I cannot imagine how difficult this decision must be for you.
The difficult part is leaving the Federation is for the crew.
That is, in its own way,
They are the one.
gratifying to know.
They're the reason why it's a hard decision.
Dr. Taliaferro noisily storms off as Admiral Hebert brings herself up to you guys. She does cast a kind of a sideways glance at Trasa as she approaches everybody. With the situation regarding the Klingons being increasingly difficult to anticipate, Fleet Ops has tasked the Combs to Narendra in order to remain on station while the evacuation is underway. As such, the Combs will be required to remain on ready status as a just in case. Those crew not assigned to their posts on readiness condition or on mandatory sleep rotation will be assisting the evacuation as I already detailed. I dearly hope that you will not be needed, but better to have a watchful eye present during these unstable times. I'll leave you all to start organizing moving out of your quarters here on the station. In the meantime, I'm returning to my offices if anybody needs me. It's just as Admiral Hebert is set to leave that somebody else enters into the auditorium. A good many somebodies, and you recognize them immediately. The crew of the MupwI. Or the command crew of the MupwI, at the very least. Captain Akul and his crew and his command crew enter into the auditorium, have a brief look around, and when they clap eyes on yourselves, they all proceed in your direction with intent. Now, there's a good many wary glances being given them, by the Venture crew and some of the other members of your own crew, but nevertheless, Captain Akul walks up and presents himself and his command crew to yourselves. Captain Akul, Commander Trasa, Lieutenant Commanders, I offer you greetings. Moreover, I come here with a request. Given that our two governments have suffered irreconcilable differences, it looks as though we are set to be on different sides of a conflict now. As such, I seek to engage in the Klingon Empire. It is a ritual engaged by Klingons when two parties must part ways in order to become adversaries, even though they respect each other as honored comrades and friends. It is a ritual meant to represent the parting of our ways and how that we part not as enemies, but as friends, simply on different sides of a divide. My crew and I would be honored if you would engage in the Klingon Kah with us before you are made to depart. Captain Sobek looks behind him towards his command crew.
Does it involve blood wine?
Captain Akul grins at this comment. It could very well, but only at the end.
Let's just has a cheeky smirk.
And it seems we've found Dr. Sott's rallying cry for today. Shots! Akul does look very pointedly at Commander Trasa.
It would be good, depending on what I decide to do. I feel that I owe you, at least you guys, this much. General Kargan has came and offered me a spot in the Klingon military if I choose to take it.
I see. You cannot blame the General for wanting to court talent, but I have the suspicion that he was courting your talent for reasons other than simple competency. Dibs on Hopkins' holodeck programs if she leaves. Can only imagine. Nevertheless, I leave it up to you, honored sister, to describe what is to come. We will meet you in the Klingon trading halls, the lower levels of the station. We will make sure that you are not barred passage, and that you are not accosted. This is a sacred ritual, and no matter what others may think of the situation as it has unfolded, everyone is honor-bound to see that this ritual is engaged in the best possible terms. We will see you there. The MupwI crew turn around and leave. Now, as far as Trasa is able to remember her Klingon rituals, the Klingon Kiach is one of those things, as Captain Akul stated, is a series of competitions, almost, between two... Usually it's two sides, or two houses, but in this case, obviously, it's two crews. It dates back to when the frequent internecine squabbles used to happen between the Klingon houses, and loyalties would shift, and so people who were houses and minor houses and whatever, folks who were on the same side one day might end up being on opposite sides of a conflict the next. So in order to symbolize this parting of the ways, but also to get them ready to be on opposing sides of a situation or a conflict or whatever it transpires as, the ritual itself is broken up into a number of challenges in order to have both sides actively competing against one another, in order to pretty much get you used to being on opposite sides. The ritual is usually broken down into 4 competitions. The first competition being more of a kind of a team game almost. The second competition will be something that usually involves seeing who can reach a goal first. The third competition will be a contest of smarts, of trying to outthink one another. And the final competition will be a test where both sides have to outlast each other. So it's kind of a test of teamwork, a test of speed, a test of smarts, and a test of will to round things up. So yes, there's a very very poignant question being asked on Discord at the moment, which is why those of you who are hearing the butt-ups go on maybe hearing it more, because a question has been posed. What are folks' feelings about Hopkins joining the Klingons or not? So, I believe this is actually quite a highly relevant question here. So, and it's an out-of-character one as much as it is an in-character one. So, if you want to have that discussion, now would be a very good time to have it. So, I am interested. What are folks' thoughts and feelings?
Well, I've put my non-character response in Discord, but I think Flesk, having already lost one crew member, would actually be devastated with the loss of a second. So, even though it's a different kind of loss, he's quite sensitive to it. So,
But Mark, however,
went for the Futurama response of no strong feelings. As in, I don't mind which she picks. I don't mind. But yeah, I think Flesk would be devastated. And he's trying to Flesk is trying to make jokes about pinching her stuff if she leaves to try and hide the fact he would miss her.
somebody else was going to make a point there.
I just put a meme in. Dave is very much, do what you want to do, Liz. If it works, if it's something you want to do it. It's role play, and it's your role play. Coming from a Tavish, coming from a Tavish point of view, I think Tavish would miss Trasa. But she is really socially awkward, and probably won't express it that way. More than likely, it'll be the opposite way. Like she'll ask you to stay, but it will sound like she wants you to leave.
So there's at least two folks here who are disguising their real feelings with deflection. I like it. I bring you to what Chris Powell just did. Does anyone mind if I join the Blue Man group? Well,
I have no problem with that.
If you can
As
hold
long
the
as you
beat
get
as
me
well
free
as they
tickets.
can. Yeah, we demand tickets if you do.
Yes.
So it seems, for the most part, on an out-of-character basis, players are fine with Liz playing this however way she thinks she should play this. And I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, characters themselves will have their own reactions. So, but that's what makes this all very cool, because it adds a bit of drama to the whole thing. So,
Don't worry, we'll be assimilated soon, Liz.
he says that with
Doesn't
such
matter.
remarkable assuredness. Don't worry, y'all are getting assimilated in the next 2 weeks. Did I say 2 weeks? I meant maybe.
Not for the book though.
Thank you, Mark. If it's assimilation, it's probably going to be the Cybermen. And there's our first cross-franchise reference for this evening for you. Okay, so
Why does it have to be the Cybermen? Can't it be a Dalek?
if it was the Daleks, they'd exterminate the lot of you, so there'd be no assimilation. There would just be destruction.
Oh yeah.
I have a bad feeling about this.
We're drifting from Star Trek into Doctor Who territory? Yes, actually, so am I.
This is not the android you're looking for. There you go.
There's our other cross-franchise reference for the night. These aren't the Klingons you're looking for.
yeah, Liz, do what you want. Honestly,
Okay. And it's not necessarily a decision that has to be made right now, because your characters, of course, have got a Klingon ritual to take part in. Yes, indeed. So, the place to go to start this ritual, of course, is the Klingon training pits down on the lower levels of the station. So, it's the command crew that have been invited to partake in this, so it's just the command crew that can go. But, according to what you later find out, leave has been given from the Klingons to allow folks to spectate what goes on. What you discover is that this seems to have, as word starts getting around the station as to what's going on, obviously the Federation folks are all rather disappointed, some even maybe devastated to hear that this is going on. Likewise, Tavish and Flesk especially are going to have to tell the bad news to their families. So, how do you guys think
up.
your families
We're
are
moving.
going to deal with this?
With
Tavish is like, sorry, look, we're
projectiles. They'll be responding with projectiles. So there'll be
dear.
less to pack up, but Flesh might turn up to this challenge with a couple of bruises.
Okay.
I think it's Tavish's. I wrote it down that it's Tavish's cousin who is looking after her daughter while she goes off and, breaks the universe. So I think her cousin would be kind of like, oh, not again.
We're moving again.
I think. Yeah, I think Lily's daughter Aurora would be very much, yay! I get to mess around with another room somewhere on a different station.
It's nice to know that she's taking it in her stride.
Yeah,
I get to mess around with some more stuff.
I get to destroy another space station.
So yeah,
I do feel like Aurora is on the space station's must-watch list. If you see this little girl going into a system, open up a system and start messing around with it, please inform security and get an engineering team down there.
Aurora Tavish is the Nog of Narendra Station.
Yeah, very much so. I like Nog. Nog's awesome.
Yeah,
I love that character.
Echoed. I share such a sentiment. Okay, so yeah, Flesk's family as well were very much a case of, just when we'd gotten settled. Because the promise of Narendra Station, of course, was that it was going to be a more permanent kind of, or at the very least a long-term posting, but it appears not. So there is general disappointment, and by the sounds of it, projectile throwing. From a couple of stressed out Denobulan wives.
Oh.
Yes.
Any data on I can't remember her name, it's been a while, on my AI program?
Specify what kind of data were you after? Nylil.
No, any data on Nylil. I'm going to send it all over to Daystrom Institute and Starfleet R&D, and then put it onto my own personal stuff, and then I'm going to delete any data on the station for it.
Okay. Just in case the Klingons try using it.
Yes.
Anything else for that matter. Okay. Noted.
Yes.
Noted. Okay, that's no problem. Anything else anybody else wants to do in preparation?
Not really. No.
Luckily for Garrow, the girls he was seeing were all Starfleet, so... So maybe them being posted somewhere else is a blessing in disguise. Or maybe it's not. Maybe it's, potentially they're being split up, so... It's up to you how you see that going for Garrow, Chris. Dr. Sott just strikes me as being far too busy for that kind of stuff. But mind you, the beard could have changed that, so I don't know if Chris P sees Sott having tried getting. Okay. A gentleman never tells. I get you. Meanwhile, for Gurkha, that also means that the easy access to a Darbo table is going to have to be left behind.
I'll just replicate one on the ship.
Darbo night on Holo Suite 3. Gotcha.
Exactly. Get a couple of patsies.
Did I say patsies? I made friends.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Is it classed as cheating if I use Nihil for Darbo?
Wait, how would that work?
It is kind of like a roulette table, though, isn't it, Darbo? So it's tough.
Yeah,
but you can try and spot patterns in it, I suppose. But the whole
I
point of a
don't think
Darbo
that-
table is that it can be rigged as well. So go on, Mark. What were you trying to say?
I was going to say that doesn't sound any more cheating than, say, statistical probability analyzing.
Yeah. Point made and taken. Very good. All right. Okay, let's go down to the fighting pits. So as you enter into the arena area, you do notice that it's become something now of a spectator sport. You've got the Federation guys, mostly your own crew, and a couple of others who are popping along, including the Admiral, to see how this transpires. I don't know if you remember him, the Orion pilot, Rayner, who has been plying the Shackleton Expanse with you. He made a couple of overtures to you guys now and then, but you didn't really become all that friendly with him. He just was a bit of a loudmouth pilot, really. But he and his Orion cousins are all frequenting the area too. The Klingons themselves have partitioned themselves off, but have got a few spectators of their own, including General Kargan. But, as has been noted, you are offered no barrier to entering the Klingon section of the station, and when you come into the arena, you find that you have indeed got Captain Akul and the MupwI crew set off to one side, and there appears to be what looks like a pole with a flag on it at one end of the arena. Likewise, Hopkins is in a Starfleet uniform with her house stash, yes.
Wrong character.
I know what you meant, though. I know it wasn't Sott saying that, but yeah. Thanks for making that note.
Oh, that's because I don't have access to my character again, I don't think.
You just confirm that whether or not you do, please?
Hang on, why did...
It came in and automatically
I do.
assumed you heard everybody. Yep, you do, okay.
Oh, we're
I
not
sure-
getting Lian Zhang with us.
Oh. Do you want Lian Zhang with you? Yes, indeed. Okay.
Technically, she's part of the crew.
She is part of the crew.
Security of 4, yes. Yes.
Noted. Okay. You've got Gurkha on your side, and she counts as two people, surely. There's lefty, there's righty.
Don't you mean... Well,
That's three of us.
I was
Go
thinking
on.
Tavern also technically counts for two people.
Well, there's that as well, yes. So when you think about it that way, you do have a numbers advantage. Okay. So yes, there is a pole with a flag on it on either side. One with a Federation Starfleet insignia, the other with a Klingon insignia that appears to be Captain Akul's house insignia. Lady Jadak has placed herself very much in the middle of all things, and according to what you are aware of, especially Trasa, knowing Klingon tradition as she does, is that Lady Jadak has obviously been chosen to be the mediator or referee for the contests to come. And so, the first test is a test of teamwork. You essentially have to get to the other side, and it's essentially capture the flag. But of course, something to note is that some of the Klingons on the opposite side do actually have their weapons with them, so it's entirely up to you whether you want to employ weapons as well, especially since some of you do have spears and knives and other things that you managed to procure yourselves, including Gurkhau's nefarious steel ball bat. So apparently the rules are basically to get to the other side, snatch the flag and make it back to your side, and you're allowed to try and get there by any physical means you seek to employ without actually killing people.
Aw.
It's like, damn it. Could have shortened the amount of Klingons we have to face in the future by a couple. Never mind. So yes, this is obviously a team game, so it revolves around having to allocate some to be the ones to try and go for the opposing team's flag, maybe someone to be allocated to have to defend your own flag, those who have to try and defend the person who snatches the flag from getting bowled over and beaten by Klingons with bat'leths. I should have kept the alliteration going there. Bowled over and beaten by bat'leths. I can't even say.
Minus your own Klingon that has her own bat'leth.
Indeed. It's her own personal bat'leth. So, essentially what we're going to do, rather than have this trail out as one big combat, we are actually going to treat this as an extended task, which is why I have this little thing right here. It's going to track your progress. The extended task...
Matt?
Yes.
I was going to say, can we use an anti-grav sled?
You really, really want to employ the anti-grav sled as a means of doing whatever with it, it is allowed, yes.
Can I tinker with it beforehand?
Oh gosh.
She's gonna kill us all! Yeah, it depends on how you want to tinker with said thing. Tell you what we can do, before you answer that, what we can do is we can treat it as an advantage that you can create, if you want to. Something you can try and create ahead of time. Now you're worried? Yes. I was already worried, but now it's escalated. So if you want to bring the anti-grav sled with a slight tinkerage on it in order to bring an advantage to the table, then I suppose now would be the best time to do it.
Yeah, I definitely want to do that.
What kind of tinkerage were you thinking of?
Make it go broom.
So nothing else, you just want to make it sound like it's got a petrol engine in it.
No, I want it to go fast.
A go faster anti-grav sled. Okay.
Yeah. Also to be able to steer it as well.
Well, that's
Anti-grav go-kart.
An anti-grav go-kart. Okay. I guarantee you the Klingons will not be expecting that. Alright, I'm going to need you to give me a daring and engineering check at difficulty 2 to see how well you tinker this anti-grav sled.
Liz, would you mind doing that for me, please?
Sure.
Can I use the focus of experimental technology, please?
I don't see any other option, really.
Okay, so the difficulty range is 2.
Please. The complication
Okay.
range remains the same, although, if you really want me to, I can add threat to make the complication range bigger.
No, we're good.
That was an excellent success. So you gain 2 momentum as well into your starting pool to play with. Okay, so I'm going to put that as an advantage that you have created before the contest actually begins.
I can just see Tammy just go, "Don't worry, guys, I've got this."
And then she kind of
Now, who
skids in on
wants
the
to
thing.
Who wants to drive this bad boy?
Well, I imagine, if anybody, it's going to be Lieutenant Commander Lian Zhang goes, oh, me! Believe it or not, this
You
was on my
break it.
bucket list.
You break it, you buy it.
What
That's
do you mean
cool.
buy it? You're probably just gonna fix it again. As Hopkins just massages your more pronounced head ridges.
A very discernible frown has now occurred in the deep ridges of her nose. Okay.
I don't think Tavish is helping.
Helping things?
Hopkins
No.
want to stay in Starfleet.
Yes. Okay. So, this is going to work like a regular extended task. So, you can all... Some of you can obviously contribute to the extended task up to the maximum of 5 dice. Of course, you can change who contributes to the task ahead of time, so you can have it be some people one turn, you can have it some people be the next. In order to represent the Klingons putting up a good old fight, there is a resistance score to this extended task, and the difficulty starts at 4. So that's what we are going for with this test. So, basically, this is going to be more than likely, unless somebody states a different tack they're taking, it's probably going to be a fitness and security check that's going to be getting taken here. So anybody who has got focuses on any of the physical sciences or physical activities would be advantageous, unless, of course, you want to employ a different tactic. It's entirely up to you.
Okay. So
Can I
I got
use
some.
presence and security?
Presence and security, in order to try and scare them, intimidate them to get out of your way while you're charging through. It's a distinct possibility. Mr.
Yeah.
Bell, what were you going to say for Garrow?
Well, I've definitely got the hand-to-hand combat and survival, so attack and defense.
Okay, so
And I got hand to hand.
so far we've got 1 hand-to-hand, 2 hand-to-hand. We've got the anti-G go-kart. That can maybe be employed now or later, entirely up to you. So make your choice. How do you want to? Like I said, you can have the usual maximum of 5 dice, so you can have 1 person doing the primary and up to 3 people assisting, depending on whether or not folks want to expend determination to do this or not.
Do we want Lian Zhang as well on the headlong charge?
It's entirely up to you
What,
guys.
on
So
the-
far, you've got 2 people
What?
starting things off. So
And we can cycle through people, I suppose.
Yeah.
I was also
Liam-
about to say. Sorry,
on.
I was also about to say I got a spear, so if you
Yeah.
want me on the sled as a kind of jousting.
Liam Zhang
Mhm.
and Garrow on the anti-G go-kart. I can't see anything going wrong with this at all.
We're gonna go hard. We're gonna go hardcore then. Yeah.
No, we're going to weaken them in the first salvo.
So,
of this.
first attack is going to be basically trying to penetrate through the enemy defenses by doing a charge with a lance on an anti-G sled at high speed. Alright.
That sounds pretty good.
And Hopkins jumping off the anti-grav sled to hit people with the ballast.
Okay, ramming speed indeed. We are once again doing the Hopkins maneuver. So that's one person.
We're gonna make this as chaotic as possible.
Alright, so we have potentially one leading the charge, with someone assisting with a spear, someone assisting with fisticuffs. Anybody else assisting?
I mean,
I'll go. Lefty and righty. Come on.
Okay. Put the cap behind for moral support. Okay. So, let's see. We're doing something extremely martial here, but we're using speed as well. Kind of like a shock and awe kind of thing going on. So, very much want daring and security from everybody. It's going to be... Who's going to be leading this? Seems like Garrow should be the leader since he's the one with the spear. Or is it going to be Zhang leading it because she's the one driving the sled?
I do have 10 daring and 5 security.
Hey.
Yeah, I've only got 9 on daring, so I'll put on support on this one.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
But I do have a focus on survival.
And weapons.
maybe go with the focus.
I do have a hand-to-hand focus too.
So, do we want then, let's change the order a smidge. Do we want Trasa then to be leader and everyone else counts as assisting?
I think that sounds alright.
Okay. So, Zhang is going to be assisting in a different manner, and for this, can I have Mr. P? Could you be Lieutenant Commander Lian Zhang for me? Since she is driving this, we're going to go with daring and con. And technically an anti-G sled with a nitro boost does count as a propulsion system, so she gets a focus. But she only rolls one dice, does Zhang. We're going to have fitness and security from Trasa with 2 dice, fitness and security with Garrow for 1 dice.
Daring.
Sorry, daring and security, yep, pardon me.
Daring security. Do I need to put focus on mine, or...?
You can, yes.
Off we go.
Ooh, very good.
Boom!
A very good first round. Okay, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Zhang was put off by the pure acceleration of the anti-G go-kart and almost didn't make it, but the rest of you, as you basically jumped off the thing or held on and charged, created quite the advantage. So, let's see. Can I get Liz to roll me 7 challenge dice, please? But before I get there, what was the number of successes again? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 1 over what was necessary, so you earn a point of momentum. Nice! Okay, so what have we got? We have got 5 successes, 2 effects. Resistance of 3 means you do 2. Okay. But if we use those 2 effects to knock down a point of resistance, we can gain an initial 2 more. Cool. So, yes, that initial plunge of shock and awe into the Klingon ranks does earn you a flag. So it completely upset their plan to just stonewall you and use brute force to hammer through, but they did not expect the anti-G go-kart. But as the first round was going off, what you do notice was that after you initially took off, and Tavish is probably there going, "Ha, it worked, excellent!" The anti-G impellers on the underneath of the sled kind of flicker a little bit, and that's how Zhang nearly lost control of the thing. So, seconds away, round 2. Who is going to be trying to get the better of the Klingons this turn? Do you want to use the same tactic, or do you want to switch it up and use a different tactic? What would you like to do? Basically, who's going to be
Use the
contributing to the
same
next task?
tactic,
Using
but
the same tactic.
Flesk is going to run around the side as a distraction. There's a daring attempt. So before the charge starts, Flesk is just going to run around the side in the hope that we just distract at least one of them.
So for that, you're going to be making a presence and command check for Flesk, probably just as a, "Hey, look at me, I'm a distraction." So that's 1 dice you can use. You've still got 4 dice remaining, so whoever else wants to contribute
As I'm trying to distract them, does the focus of persuasion work as I'm trying to persuade them?
Actually, that's a good point. Yeah, I can go for that.
Cool,
So that's 1 dice out of 5 you can employ. Who else wants to get involved in this next round?
Can I try and go for a distraction?
Alright, how is Tavish going to try distracting them?
By loudly saying, "Don't worry, I can make this phaser into a stun grenade."
Oh, good lord.
Alright.
She's not actually going to do this. I like to point out.
I want to go with this is going to be an outright bluff, so this is going to be daring and command from Tavish. You don't have a focus on telling pork pies, so it's just going to be pure talent alone.
Here you go.
That's not bad. Rolling well, guys. Rolling well. So we've got 3 dice left to contribute to this round. How would folks like to use it? Do you want the remainder to go in with fists wheeling like previously, or...
God.
So who wants to go charging in?
Okay. Yep, I'm in.
Alright. You rolling 1 dice or 2 dice then, Chris? Do you want Garrow to take the lead in this, or do you want him to only help out?
I'm gonna go for 2 then.
Garrow's taking the lead. Alrighty. Those games
So
of
I guess
Parisi squares have been paying off.
So I guess that would be still daring and security, is that?
Daring and security, yes please.
Okay, and hand-to-hand combat focus.
So this is interesting. Rather than have Trasa leading the charge, we've now switched it up to Garrow leading the charge. So cool.
And rolling.
Rolling. Oh, it was a 19, but it rolled back onto a 3, which is really, really, really good. So we've got 1 dice left to contribute. Who would like to be the remaining contributing party? 2 distractions, 1 guy wielding a spear charging right in. Who would like to be the remaining team member to do something this turn?
I mean, if we throw a defenseless Dr. Sot in, surely they have enough honor to not go for him. As a distraction.
Bling the doctor. I like it. Nobody
So
touches a doctor.
Is Gurko just going to throw Dr. Sus into the ring?
If we need to, I will.
Well, you know, necessity breeds. I say this is going to be probably fitness and security for her to do this, to see how strongly she can fling a Dr. Sot across the into the Klingons.
Are we happy to fling him in?
Yep, improvised weapon.
Well, whether or not Dr. Sot is happy to be doing this is irrelevant to the
Wait.
matter, I find.
I wish I could help.
So it seems like Gurkow's doing this, so go for it, Connie. Make the distance, you'll have to toss me!
Security. I'm sorry, Dr.
Doctor,
Scott.
not a projector. Projectile.
From dots to docks. Ooh!
Oh.
Okay, so
I tried to pick him up, but I couldn't.
yes, the dock kind of just gets more shoved than pushed. So, however, Garrow's thrust with a spear get yeeted at by some Klingons today. Yes, indeed. Well, it was the last thing they were expecting. And then, of course, it switches up for Garrow leading the charge and a couple of distractions going in to try and take away from the Doctor that was about to get hurled at them. Nevertheless, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes in total, which was 2 above what you needed. So there's 2 now back to the momentum pool. And because Garrow this time was the big cheese on that one, let's have 7 challenge dice rolled by Garrow, please.
Okay, hang on, where's my 7 challenge?
That's not bad, that's not bad. 7 successes, no effects, that's a lot of successes. Minus the resistance of that is 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're over halfway through the contest now. And you're starting to get a little bit tired, but that's the name of the game, is endurance and, of course, tactics. The crew of the MupwI on the other side are now... you can see they're huddling up, trying to come up with a strategy. But a good number of them are just throwing their arms up in the air as if to say, well, how can we strategize against that? We have no idea what they're going to do next, Captain!
Trasa's going to attempt to intimidate him by standing right here.
Okay. So it's definitely going to be a presence and command kind of jobby. Trasa is, of course, very good at that kind of thing. So she could technically be leading this entire endeavor. So...
presence and command or presence and security?
Yeah. So we'll go with that. So who wants to be backing up Trasa in some form or other on this? Do we want to try a new tactic, or do we want to bring back one of the old tactics? Or
Bless wants to completely confuse them by doing exactly the same thing. A new type of distraction. As if to go, what is this?
So I'm almost picturing, of course, tall, broad-shouldered Trasa just striding forth and throwing insults at them about their parentage, maybe, and how they're going to just fall before the might of the combs. And there's Flesk emerges from behind her and goes, "Yeah."
That's it.
Alright, Flesk's going to attempt the same thing, intimidation. Anybody else throwing their oar into this particular maneuver? Or they want to add a different maneuver to this whole thing? Anybody?
Does Gurkha want to try to yeet Dr. Side ahead of them again?
Or maybe Dr. Sot wants to have a turn at doing something to somebody else, I don't know. Does Dr. Sot want to come up with a strategy, since, you know, he got flung into the opposition last time, so...
He didn't get flung, we failed that portion.
Well, he was less
Can
flung,
Dr.
more
Sot
bold.
Can Dr. Sot go up to the intimidation tactic, just point at their flaws and be like, I'm a doctor, I can fix that.
So, good cop, bad cop, little cop? I don't know.
Good cop, angry cop.
Flesk.
Flesk.
I like the lunatic cop.
Alright, so that's so far we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 dice. We've got room for one more. Bugger it, eat me again.
Gurkha, it's a silly idea. Come along.
I'll just no like intimidation. I'll just go in with lefty and righty.
Lefty and righty. So after all of this intimidation, all of a sudden there's going to be a Tellarite just shooting forth, just to bowl through their lines while they're distracted. Okay, so it seems like Trasa's rolling 2 dice with presence and security, I suppose, if you want to intimidate them that way. Flask is going to be rolling 1 dice with presence and command because he's doing something similar yet different. Dr. Sot definitely using presence, but presence and medicine, yes, I agree with that selection. And Gurkha is going to be going either fitness or daring and security, either one works. Alright, so 2 dice, 1 dice, 1 dice, 1 dice, that's all of our 5. Let's go for it! Ooh, start as you mean to go on. Okay, a bit more middle of the road. Who have we not had? 1, 2, 3, 4. We haven't had the dock yet. We need Dr. Sot to give us presence and medicine, please.
Can I use a donation to reroll 1 to the 18?
If you want to, absolutely you can, yes. Okay, Dr. Sot was not quite as convincing. A 13 works better. Yep. Roll the dice to see if you get it back. You do not.
Nope.
Okay, but nevertheless, it was a better roll. So you've gained 1, 2, 3, 4 successes. If it wasn't 4, lefty and righty from Gurkha, it seems that the intimidation tactic wasn't quite as successful as you wanted it to be. But it still proved enough of a distraction for a Tellarite to go blasting through their ranks.
And the only person that succeeded on the other intimidation was the Klingon.
Yes. Alright, so can I have 7 challenge dice rolled by Connie? Gurkha can roll these ones. Since she was the one who blasted through, actually hit the physical side of things. Ooh. Okay, 6 successes, 1 effect, which means it goes down by 1, which means it takes on 2, which means we're going down to 4. So, the Klingons are putting up quite a solid fight. You're not winning this quite as decisively or as quickly as you perhaps wanted to, but it's getting down into the last round or so now. So, yes, we're nearly done. No breakthroughs, though, so you haven't got that many successful snags of their flag, neither have they managed to get too many of yours. You do notice, though, that as the competition has been going on, the Orions have been getting pretty vocal. They've been getting into it. The Klingons, of course, are very much behind their team and are yelling out, and before long the Starfleet lot start joining in too. But the Orions definitely seem to be enjoying what's going on, and anyone who takes the time to kind of look in their direction finds the pilot Rayner is now kind of he's taking bets, you would guess, from the way that folks are handing over small latinum coins and stuff to him. So, reset. This is probably the last round or so now, so you haven't had a definitive winning strategy that has definitely been the, yes, this works the best. So the scores are kind of tied at the moment. So it depends on what kind of strategy you want to try employing now. So far you've gone through for outright shock and awe with speed and the anti-grav go-kart. You've tried a little bit of distraction on the flanks, and then you went for intimidation. Would you like to try something different, or would you like to go back to a previous strategy?
Do we want to send our 4 heaviest hitters to just charge in?
Yep.
Uncomplicated.
Right, bludgeon. Alright.
Yeah.
So by 4 heaviest hitters, we mean more than likely Trasa, more than likely Garrow, more than likely Gurkow.
Alright, and then who's the 4th hitter?
I was about to ask, who is the 4th hitter? Are we throwing Captain Sobek into the mix, or are we throwing Dr. Salt at people again?
Or do you want both me and Garrow to roll 2 dice, where we buy, or use a momentum to buy dice?
Ooh, yeah.
Do you want to go that way?
Yes, spend the momentum.
Okay.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Daring security with a
daring security. Yes, we're going outright violence now. So daring and security from everybody, but with a purchase of a momentum. Garrow can roll 2, and then Trasa can roll 2, and then Gurkow can roll the 1.
Okay. And rolling.
Oh, hide! Whoa!
Okay. Not bad.
Not bad at all. And from Trasa, 2 successes, and from lefty and righty, 1 success. That seems to be the winning strategy. Back up, boom. That was 6! 2 over, which means you definitely now have a full momentum pool once again. And I think it's only fair that we let Mark now roll 7 challenge dice to see how well that went.
Okie dokie. Challenge 7.
Ooh. Now you can spend 2 momentum to re-roll some, most, or all of those dice.
Yeah. Can I
May as well roll 5 dice, because the other 2 came up with 2 each, so...
Cool. Yeah, I'll do that. Try that again. There we go.
That's better. Let's take a momentum away there. So, we got... those were 5, so you had 4, and 8, and 3 effects. That was a hell of a strategy. Just go in all guns blazing. Nice. Who knew that the way to beat Klingons at a game like this was violence? Alright. So that's 8 minus 3, but you scored 3 effects, so we can take away that to make it a breakthrough. That was an overwhelmingly good score. That strategy seemed to really, really knock them back, and so, yeah, with... blimey, actually, that's a good point. The trial eventually comes to an end, and with that last strategy, you managed to put the MupwI crew on the back foot enough that you scored the winning flag. So, the Combs crew have 1 victory in this contest. Captain Akul, of course, afterwards comes over and shakes everybody's hand in the Klingon fashion. You know, forearm to forearm kind of grip. As he wipes a trickle of blood from his lip where someone cracked him in the face. And commends you on your strategies. So, flags are taken away. The Orions now are becoming very excited by the prospect of the next contest, as Lady Jadak says that the next contest is the contest of speed. But in order to properly simulate the battle reasons this would be kind of thing would be undertaken, this is essentially 2 opposing forces trying to hit an objective first. And sometimes the best way to do that is to also have scouts go up ahead. But this is mostly going to be a question of speed. So, essentially, 2 of your best runners are going to need to be selected in order to be the ones who are primarily going to be taking part in the physical side of this contest, but others can assist them by scouting out routes. Lady Jadak has already chosen the route that's going to be taken. It's going to be a run, basically a race, that starts at one point on the station and ends at another. certain access points along the way may or may not be closed. Therefore, it will be probably an idea to have those who aren't physically taking part in the race to assist by trying to help map out routes and open access routes for your own people, but close access routes for your opponents, potentially. So, on the MupwI side of things, they are going to be having their junior officer, Shum, their Beck, take part in this, and their helm officer, Vur, is going to be taking part as well. So those are going to be the primary two runners. So this lady here and their junior officer. Who of you two is going to be conducting the run? It would make sense. Yeah, go on.
The two highest people with fitness is both Gurkau and Garo with 10.
Aha! So who knew that the one with the shortest legs would actually be one of the best people to do a running?
And then the next logical choice would be...
Oops, wrong ambience.
8. 7. 7. 8 again.
Okay, so it definitely seems... Go on.
Yeah, everyone has 8, except for Garo and Gurkau, which have 10, except for Sod and Tao, which have 7.
Okay. Yes, so it seems that the best two for actually doing the physical side of the race are going to be Garo and Gurkau. How the rest of you can help out, of course, will be mostly down to your ability to help scout out routes ahead for them, and also to...
I'm here for parent figure if needed.
Aha!
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do then is we are going to move this to a different map for the time being. So we're going to be having our racers, if I can find them, or did I only get the helpers? Right, so the helpers are off to the side in this area to represent them being able to assist from afar, whereas our two actual runners need to be placed with their Klingon counterparts. Come on, Foundry. There we are. So you're given enough time to kind of come down from the exhaustion of the first contest, and you're given time enough to get your breath back for the second trial, the trial of speed. So, once again, this is going to be conducted as an extended task, just like the last one. So, it's not going to be a slew of you roll, then they roll, then this character rolls, and this character rolls, etc., etc. We're going to be doing it as a an extended task, just like before. It makes sense, of course, for the two who are actually doing the endurance side of things to be taking part in it, and possibly even leading the charge. So that leaves about 2 other folks who can try and assist them by using whatever means they can think of to create an advantage over the opponent.
If we can find a way to make it an engineering role, because we're modifying a stout anti-grav sled,
Okay.
I can use in the nick of time to score additional work for an extended task.
Aha.
So I will assist and hope we succeed as a part of this extended task to try and get some extra work. So yeah, I'm gonna make a even speedier scout sled.
Alright, using the sled to your advantage to scout ahead. Nice. So that leaves one more person that can be used to assist.
I could always be about trying to use command and presence to distract or intimidate the other runners.
Or inspire your own. So yes, that's always an option.
Oh yeah, I do have inspiration.
So yeah, so presence 12, command 5 versus presence 11, command 5. There's not much of a difference between the two, so if Trasa wants to get in on things, then that's fine, fine, fine. Alright then. So then, everyone starts to gather at the starting line. Those who are assisting from a distance can find themselves a little officed off to one side where you can access the security system. So you've got the layout of the station, you've got the route. Well, you've not got the route highlighted, you've got the starting position marked and you've got the end position marked. How you guide your runners to the place they need to go is entirely up to you, of course, and that also comes down to what people are doing when they assist. And the people of the station who are still on the station, who are spectating this, have kind of lined the various different runways and corridors, ready to cheer on whoever it is they're cheering for. So, well then, let's get down to it. On your marks, get set, race! So, the first thing we're going to do, of course, is our two runners need to give their own rolls. So, it's probably going to be, let's see, Fitness 10, Security 3 versus Fitness 10, Security 5. So it makes sense for Garrow to be leading this with 2 dice. As far as focuses go, flat out running doesn't seem to be a focus of yours, so it's probably going to be without a focus. Same goes for Gurkow, who's going to be rolling 1 dice, but fitness and security.
Right.
Okay, so that's Garrow.
Okay,
Garrow
nice.
off to a really good start, and Gurkow not far behind him. So that's the first 3 dice. How are Trasa and Flask assisting again? They're doing their individual things. You were going to do command, weren't you? Presence and command with inspiration, that was it. How was Flask going to contribute? Sorry, go on, Liz.
She's gonna yell at the 2 Klingon officers and be like, "Your shoes are untied, and go Gurkow! Oh, those little legs!"
Pump those little legs. Nice. Okay, so feel free to give me your inspirational roll, presence and command. 1 dice with a focus. Very good. Right,
That was almost a 20.
Yeah, it was. Flask. What was Flask doing again?
I was tinkering with the anti-grav sled to make it a speedy reconnaissance vehicle.
Right, cool. So this sounds like you're getting ready to make it ready for something else. This definitely sounds like daring and engineering.
Daring and engineering. Could I go for manufacturing metallery as a focus, as I'm tinkering?
I would go more with power systems, because you're basically trying to give more boost to the thing itself. Can I use my doctor's orders talent to boost our runners?
In
look.
which case, I'm going to use my Star Cross, well, one of them, to double my focus range for this ridiculous endeavour.
Dr. Sott can definitely do so, but since we've allocated Flask, you can probably do it on the next turn, actually. That would be a good idea.
And then...
So we'll hold that as the next turn strategy.
So yeah,
cool.
using Star Cross to double the focus range,
which
and
means
in the nick
that
of
you
time.
roll 2 on 10 and under now, so cool.
Yep. And
Nick
then
of time. Okay, yep.
if I succeed, or if we succeed as a part of the task, we get additional work for every effect rolled. So that's what I'll be doing.
Give us that roll then, dude.
I was lined up so well.
All right.
Unless
you spend a determination point to reroll.
I want to do that. I want to give that another go. Let's try and do that again.
Reroll result.
10 or under.
No, but you do get a success, which is what we
get
want.
a success back. Yeah.
So you do manage to successfully reconfigure the anti-grav sled, so it's on top of whatever the hell Tavish did to it before. It now is going to make for a very speedy reconnaissance vehicle. So one success from you. That's 3, and 3 successes from Garrow. So Garrow goes sprinting off at one hell of a pace. So that's 6 in total. Difficulty was 3, so you get 3 above normal. One was wrong. So for that, we're definitely going to have Garrow roll 7 challenge dice.
Okay. 7 coming up.
So even the Klingons are taken aback at how fast Garrow goes off the starting mark and just speeds off down the main concourse.
Okay, I think that should have gone through.
Yep, here it comes.
Yes, there we go.
6 successes, 2 effects, so you actually earn 8. Minus the resistance. That makes sense. Whoa. So you gain a major breakthrough there. Alright. So Garrow speeds off, and, Gurkow kind of sees where he's going, and, Trasa's over the comms going, insulting the Klingons. As Trasa is throwing the insult at the Klingons, you notice the transmission cuts out halfway through, so you don't actually complete your insult. And nevertheless, you do go, come on, Gurkow, pump those little legs! Whether or not Gurkow responds favourably or unfavourably is entirely up to Con. And yet Gurkow is still just as able to speed off.
I'm absorbing information.
Garrow is gaining a full head of steam, and everyone's cheering him as he goes around, and there's a turning off of the concourse where you now have to go down a couple of more narrow walkways through corridors and such. As Garrow's about to get to the walkway, the door shuts right in his face. And he's kind of losing time now. He's there trying to press the door to release mechanism. Nothing's happening. And so the remaining crews, Sobek, Zhang, Tavish, and Sot, notify Garrow that there's a second way that he can try and use if that one's shut to him. So it'll cost him some time, but he has to make a certain detour.
Okay, yeah, I'm taking it.
Okie dokie. So that was round 1. So Garrow had a very, very big lead that he put on, but that lead has kind of been shortened a bit by the sudden closing of a door in your face. So, next round, essentially. So we're going to go for it again, see if the 2 runners can keep up their impetus. But how are the rest of you going to help now? It was suggested by Mr. Powell that Dr. Sot use his doctor's orders so that when he attempts a task to coordinate others, he can use his medicine discipline instead of command. So rather than Hopkins inspiring them, Dr. Sot can try inspiring them as well, or instead. Plus, you've now got an even more souped-up anti-grav sled that you can use to try and do some reconnaissance if you really want to. So, somebody with a reasonably good con skill could try and pilot the anti-grav sled and try and get some reconnaissance done. Both Zhang and Trasa have got con scores of 4, so either of them would make a good choice.
Hopkins, your chariot is ready.
Oh, this is gonna be... alright.
So...
She's basically gonna look and be like, Havish, be ready for the next time, because I'm going to tell you some doors to close on the Klingons.
All right.
Can you just sign this?
It's a medical
legal waiver.
It's a legal waiver, right? Yeah. I am in no way responsible for anything that happens to the sled now that you've taken possession of him.
Like, Dr. Sod, get the medical bay ready.
This may be either the shortest or the fastest and shortest reconnaissance mission known to Starfleet history. Okay. Likewise,
It's always the most dangerous.
somebody just made a mention of Tavish get ready to start closing some doors on the Klingons, which is a bad strategy to take.
Yeah,
So
that was Hopkins.
Cool. So, what we can do, maybe,
Oh,
then,
that's
is...
definitely going to be next one with the closing of the doors.
Right, you are. Okie dokie. Okie dokie do. Alright, so, first thing we're going to need is, once again, fitness and security from our 2 runners. 2 from Garrow, 1 from Gurkau.
Can I? I've observed the way that Garo runs, and I'm absorbing that information. And can I apply my the reading talent on it and using science
Yes, well,
to apply it to myself?
as long as you are willing to spend momentum in order to do it, I am fine with that. Yep, absolutely.
Go for it.
Hey, if everyone's happy, okay, I'll do that then. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I'll do that.
Yay.
And
So-
it counts as me having a focus. Amazing.
Yes, yes, yes.
Take that down.
Star-Cross.
Let's see.
If you wanted to double the focus range. It didn't work for me, but it could work for you.
Counts as I mean, I do have 2 now.
It would be a shame not to use them, really, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so I'll do that Star-Cross and did the reading.
Okay.
Okay, do that. Go.
Alrighty. Woo, blimey. Yep, that's 2 successes.
Nice.
Okay. So is that two dice for me, is it as well?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Let's see how well he does this time. Ooh, ooh, just as good. Not as spectacular, but still good. So that's 4 successes so far. So let's get... it was Presence and Medicine from Dr. Sott. And it's going to be Daring and Con from Trasa.
I'm going to use my Star-Cross.
Ah! 1 dice, yes please, Chris.
Would I be able to use the focus helm control?
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, 1 success from the Doctor. 2 from Trasa. Nice. So, Dr. Sott's advice seems to go hand in hand with Gurkau's using science to help make the run even better. So, but as Dr. Sott is busy saying, you know, if you breathe in this in this kind of circular fashion, you know, 1, 2, out, 1, 2, in, 1, 2, to try and get as much oxygen circulating as possible in order to get a beat to get a rhythm going, and halfway through your speech, your comms cut. I was like, that was weird. Trasa, meanwhile, is now speeding around, trying to map out the routes ahead of time, and passes 1 door, passes 2 doors, and it's like, yep, those are good ones. Garrow and Gurkau get a good lead if they go through this area. And as she speeds past 1, she notices an Orion just kind of leaning up against one of the doors, and he gives her a kind of a nod as she goes past. I was like, that was weird. Nonetheless, as Gurkau and Garrow are speeding down the corridors, you get Dr. Sott's inspirational little moment, which cuts off halfway through. So it appears you're getting interference on your comms. And then, as you are getting close to the area that Trasa had mapped ahead for you, as one of the means by which you both could gain some good ground, the doors start shutting on you. Very odd. So, let's have this time... Connie, can you roll us 7 challenge dice, please? Let's see how well you do. Okay. That's not bad. If you want to spend a momentum to re-roll 1 to the 3 blank dice, you can if you wish. Or you can save it for later.
I think I will.
Okay.
If everyone's okay, I can do that.
Any objections to spending a point of momentum to re-roll some dice?
Let's get more successes.
Okay. Re-roll 3 dice then. That's better. So you've now got 7 successes, 6 effects. So 7 minus that. Okay, and 4, 2 effects. Okay. This run goes less well. You're definitely slowing down. The comms for the inspirational speech for Dr. Sott were definitely cut off by somebody. Trasa's scouting ahead only worked so far until the doors started closing on you and getting sealed. So someone definitely seems to be actively acting against your progress. So you definitely made a lot less, significantly less headway during that particular round.
Could I just start I'm gonna start shouting sabotage as I run.
Sure. Betrayal! Alright, so we're into the next round. Let's see if you can try and find a way of... Now, we were going to do something with Tavish and computers to try and get us back on track, potentially. Unless I am misremembering what somebody mentioned about Tavish last turn.
No.
Okay.
I think as Hopkins is still, like, zipping around, she's communicating with Tavish, like, hey, close this door on them. We keep these ones open.
Okay.
Like, put a security lock on those certain doors, but lock the other ones closed.
Right, so Tavish is going to be helping out Garrow and Gurko in this one. Anybody else? 1, 2, 3, 4. We can have one more person helping. One more character helping, I should say. So who wants to assist?
Okay with Tavish doing that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
So who wants to assist Tavish, Gurko and Garrow? Do we want Flesk to do it? Do we want Trasa to do it? Do we want Sott? Do we want Zhang or Captain Sobek? Unless you're happy with just these guys as they are.
Ooh. Okay, that's intervention, right?
That's what, sorry?
So, Captain Sobek has intervention, right?
Captain Sobek does have his invention, investigation, inspiration.
We can always investigate on keeping our comms open so they don't stop being interfered.
Okay. Makes sense to me. So from Captain Sobek, we're probably going to have... I'm going to ask for control and science from Sobek. since he's trying to keep lines of communication open. Tavish, meanwhile, is trying to access computers in order to try and shut doors on the Klingons and such. So this is going to be a control and engineering 1 dice from Tavish with her focus on computers. Meanwhile, it's going to be the same fitness and security tests for both Gurkau and Garrow.
Okay.
Can I keep using science if I've done the reading?
I'm going to go with yes.
So, but without doing the reading.
Without doing the reading, yeah. I get what you mean. Without the momentum expenditure and all that. That's fine.
Exactly, just like started off. Thank you.
That
No
could have been way worse, but yeah.
You can, if you want, spend a determination to re-roll one of those dice if you really want to. Same goes for Gurkha.
I think I'll leave it.
Okay, you happy with the result as is? Is Gurkha going to leave that, or are you going to spend a determination to re-roll your result?
What do people think? What's the likelihood of gaining more momentum in the short term right now?
Question?
I don't mind. You can go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, I just don't want to completely deplete it, so...
Well, you're not going to be using momentum to re-roll. You're going to be using determination, so...
Oh, okay then, I'll put that back up.
Whoops.
Put that back down.
In which case, I'm absolutely fine with you spending your determination.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. I'm gonna use determination. Well, I guess I could either try again until it's perfect, or I'm gonna stick it to the man.
Or risk taker. Works as well.
I know I can do everything.
She can do all the things! Okay.
For now, I'll try again until it's perfect.
Okay, yep, that makes more sense. So strike off 1 point of determination from your character and re-roll the results.
Yep. There we are.
That's much better.
That's more like it.
That's much better. We're only supposed to roll 1 though, so we'll take the 1 from that, I think.
I did roll 1, I think. It's just...
Oh, you went. Okay. Ruvunctious, which means we've got Tavish to roll, and Mark, you can handle Tavish's roll if you want. Or, alternatively, Liz can handle Tavish's roll, and Mark can handle Captain Sobek's.
I'll go for Sobek then.
Alright, and this will be for Tavish.
Sorry, what was Sobek's roll?
That was a near miss. Oi.
What was his attributes and disciplines?
I think we were going to be using control and engineering.
No focus, I guess.
No focus.
Tavish, you want to re-roll that 19?
Yep, it's entirely up to Dave if Tavish is willing to re-roll, to spend a determination
That's why I'm
to
asking.
re-roll.
That's why I'm
Yeah,
asking.
let's do it.
This 19 was quite a ways off. That's better. I know, Cat. So, 1, 2... 3, 4, 5 in total. So you do gain 2 back. Okay, so what you find is that as soon as Tavish starts trying to reprogram the doors to shut in the faces of the Klingons, some kind of program jumps in, overrides your command, and opens ones for Klingons, closes ones for you guys. Likewise, Sobek is trying to keep a map of things going in order to help lead Garrow and Gurkau down passages that would give them an advantage, but all of a sudden the interface that Captain Sobek is using goes all fuzzy. And then the route he'd plotted for Garrow and Gurkau gets replotted by somebody or something else. Meanwhile, I am going to ask Let's have. We've had Mr. Bell. We've had Connie. Let's have a Mr. Powell roll 7 challenge dice for us, please. Nice. 4 successes, 2 effects. If you want to, you can spend a point of momentum to re-roll the 1, 2, 3, 4 that were blank.
Go for it.
Go for it. Okay. Yep.
Yes.
So basically, go hit re-roll results, and when it asks for how many dice, you put 4. That's a bit better. So we got 4, we got 8 with 2 successes. 2 effects, rather, I should say. 8 successes, 2 effects. Ba-dum-bum. Just docked the momentum, thank you. And that leaves us with... just 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this interference now, whatever's going on, is starting to definitely cost Garrow and Gurkow distance. The rest of you who are helping on your displays, you can see that the Klingons are now starting to pull ahead quite a bit. You definitely get the feeling that somebody is working against you. So would somebody like to investigate it? Would like to investigate that?
I was going to say, maybe Flesk and Tavish could do a bit of computer hacking, computer engineering to switch the entire thing in our favour. Use whatever tools they're using against them.
Okay, cool. Which means they'll effectively be unavailable to help Darrow and Gurkow this next time around, as they do their own little investigation.
Cool.
So what I will do is I will ask for a... I'm going to go for a reason and engineering task from both Flesk and Tavish. Both of you have got reason 10, engineering 5, so it's whoever wants to lead it can. And the other can assist.
You have a focus in computers, don't you? So it makes sense that Tavish leads.
Okay.
And it's all about hacking. So you know, with Nilil on board as well, I don't think anything can go wrong here at all.
Time to plug the brain into the computer.
Why does everybody laugh every time I say what could go wrong?
Because it's what's called tempting fate, my dear boy. We know what could go wrong, and so far they haven't happened for an entire session, which for this group is a smidgen unusual. And by bringing attention to it, we may now just have hexed ourselves. Nevertheless,
I don't know, there was one session we re-rolled a lot of 20s.
Yes, you did. I think that episode still remains in the archives of infamy. Nevertheless. Can I get reason and engineering from both you guys? Tavish using focus, Flask, not so much. Oof.
Oh, I will spend a determination to re-roll that. That's really a good roll.
Okay, it was almost a good roll, but it wasn't. If it hadn't have kept on rolling... Oh, now it's worse. Okay.
I can see what's meant to be happening here.
Yes, so can I.
Okay, with that, do you guys want to use a momentum to get a third dice for Tavish?
Do, if you want to.
Yes.
Alright.
Take the dice damage.
3 dice for Tavish then. Let's go for it. Okay, yep, good. 4 successes. Very nice. 1 over and above what you needed. Okay, so Flesk and Tavish start to investigate the code that's been infiltrating your system in order to try and stymie you. And what happens is... Actually, let's do this like we know we should.
Hacking signature does not match Klingon protocols. Accessing memory. Hacking protocols appear Orion in origin.
Does Tavish share this with the rest of the group?
Oh, damn right she does.
They're fixing the game for bets.
That's what.
Can I do something?
Absolutely.
Whoever is hacking this program, hacking this thing, is having to do it on the fly, yeah?
That would be your guess.
Can I trace where this is being hacked from and then start hacking them? Like, I want whatever they're using to hack, to like blow up in their face.
Okay.
Not to cause harm or anything like that.
All right.
Just psychological harm.
I will ask for one more reason and engineering check from you then, and Flask as well if Flask wants to help. From somebody else if Flask doesn't want to help, if he was feeling a mite dejected at his own inability to...
I will make up for it.
One more time from you gents then, please. Or rather from one gent and one lady. Ooh, that's better!
Alright, a focus correct.
Yes, please. Very good, very good. Okay, with those successes, you don't manage to create anything by which you can cause a feedback, but you definitely get a trace on where they might their signal is originating from. There appears to be a maintenance corridor that somebody is using as a temporary access to the computer system. So you've got an idea of where they are, but you didn't gain enough successes to blow anything back. Whoever this is, though, is a very practiced, professional computer hacker. Somebody definitely is very experienced at breaking into secure systems and manipulating them. But you've definitely got an idea of where on the station they are now. So, with that, I will say that is where we are going to leave things for today. You have not yet quite finished task number 2, and you have Klingons to run against, but now it seems you have Orions who are trying to fix the game. So, all very interesting. But, nonetheless, that brings us to a natural stopping point here, as we are almost out of time. So, I don't know if you have any ideas of how particularly you want to handle the Orions next time?
Tavish, shall we go say hi to them?
Yeah.
So, yes, you could go off and actually physically find them. Is it just the two of you going, or are you taking a bit of backup?
We don't need backup, we've got Nilil.
Okay.
Are you sure you don't need some more muscle?
No. I'm just going to pretend that I am in their system and in the ship system, and I'm just about to maybe set the what's it called? The warp engine to critical.
That would be interesting if they were actually coming from a ship, but they're not. Sorry if I didn't make myself clear. What I meant to say was that you're still on Narendra Station, so wherever these Orions are, they've managed to secrete themselves in a little access tunnel somewhere off the main walkways, and they've somehow used that to break into the station security system. So setting the station's core to detonate, or even faking that, might not necessarily be a very clever idea at this juncture. Let me just quickly
Yes.
check, because you might create mass panic.
Flexible uses con and persuasion to play good cop, bad cop with Tavish.
So, with Tavish, oh right, okay, I see.
Look, you see this Type 1 phaser? Yeah? I can very easily, with 2 pushes of a button, make this into a grenade.
That's actually a good point. Next week we don't have Mark with us.
I'm okay for you to continue without me?
Or would you prefer we delay a week and come back a week after?
Up to the team. I'm happy for them to continue without me.
Okay.
I don't mind.
I'm good with either or.
Yeah, same here.
Okay, well,
I'm
rather
okay
Yeah.
than... Go on, sorry, Connie.
Just saying, don't mind either way.
Alright, well, rather than break the flow of the story, then we'll continue next week. And
Okay.
we'll see how we go. And if we complete this, then there'll be another break, and I will let everyone know how things transpire. But in the meantime, we shall be aiming to continue this little escapade of ours next week. So we hope to see you there. Thanks for everybody who has been watching the stream today. I hope you enjoyed it. Everybody who's watching on YouTube, we also hope you enjoyed it. Enough maybe to even leave a like. And if you liked it enough to want to know when our videos drop next, then be sure to hit the subscribe button. And actually, since the guys at YouTube have changed how the algorithm works a little lately, if you do choose to subscribe, hit the bell icon and choose all, because you might not get the notification that our video has dropped. Because of the way the algorithm now works, you have to choose all in order to ensure that you get a notification. Thank you, Mr. Algorithm. But in other news, however, we shall be continuing without our operations officer, but nonetheless the story will be continuing all the same next week. So, in the meantime, we ask you to do like the Vulcans do, which in this case is not cheat. Play it fair at a game where you're having to say goodbye to some respected friends, but also to live long and prosper and engage in infinite diversity and infinite combinations. We will see you all next week, we hope, folks, and in the meantime, hailing frequencies are now closed. Cheers, guys.